Hey friends, it's Elizabeth here from the Everyday Storyteller, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you day one of my Disney travel album. So for this album I am using a 3x8 mint album from the travel collection by Ali Edwards from a couple of years ago. I really loved this color and thought it worked well for a Disney trip, especially since you know, Magic Kingdom, very pastel-y, and I love this mint color to go with that. All right, so I used a couple of collections from the Project Mouse bundles, which is from Sahlin Studio. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But they have a bunch of different Disney related collections. One of them is just like the basic Disney, where these all come from, where it has like the red and the yellow color scheme with a little bit of blue. And then they also have ones for each of the parks, and even more now. So they have ones for every part of Disney that you could ever imagine going to. They have a collection for it. So I used those papers and embellishments, as well as some that I created myself using the Project Mouse style. So you will see what I mean here in a second. I actually have a process video for how I created this title page. This is a cut file that I did myself, and then I backed with some different pattern papers from the Project Mouse collection. I will link that in the cards somewhere up there. I open each page with a transparency, and these are printable transparencies. So I created this pattern with some clip art from the Project Mouse collection and printed it on the transparency myself. It's not as thick as the transparency that you would get if you bought it from like a regular company, but I do love that you can create your own patterns and print your own stuff on it. So that's always fun. I will try to link this brand of transparency as well for you guys. And then also on the transparency title page, I always have a circle with the number and then also where we were. So this says 1, Magic Kingdom. Opens with a large photo of the castle, because obviously if you're going to Magic Kingdom you have to open with the castle. I really love how these pockets turn out. So I gave myself kind of a formula. Each day begins with a transparency, a large photo, and then on the back of that large photo I have a pocket with some type of memorabilia that we got from the park that day. So for this one I have this photo of our magic bands in black and white, this little tag that has some extra journaling about the first part of our day, and then as the pocket I have this map that is actually from the Disney map of Magic Kingdom, and I added that, and I love how it looks, and I did that for each day with either the map or another type of ephemera or memorabilia that we got. So that was really fun. We open with a couple of photos. This was I believe this was a card that I created myself in the style of Project Mouse. I wanted to include some journaling about our snacks, because why go to Disney if you don't have snacks? That's one of our favorite parts, especially this Mickey Mouse pretzel. So then we have this large photo of our family in front of the castle. We did do the photographer package. I don't remember what that's called actually. But we did do that because I just love getting pictures of our entire family throughout our trip to Disney. I think it's definitely worth it. And I've gotten so many wonderful pictures from using Memory Maker. That's what it's called, Memory Maker. And then on this page, I used a fold-out pocket to document a little bit about going to Disney World during a pandemic. This is some word art, I believe, from the actual Project Mouse collection. And then I also used this other word art that says COVID-19, and I believe this is from Ali Edwards. It might be from Liz Tamanaha, but it looks like Ali's handwriting. And both of them actually released some freebies at the very beginning of the pandemic with some of the words that we were using at the time. So I added that onto this page with a little ampersand from the ampersand story kit. And if you fold it out, it has a ton of journaling as well as a photo and a little snippet from the park guide about how Disney was handling social distancing and masking and all that kind of stuff when we went. So that was really fun to include. I think it's something really important to include because, you know, in 10 years, when my daughter looks through this album, she'll be able to see the kinds of stuff that we were doing during this period, which, you know, is really important. I also use the Polaroid style of adding photos into my album so that I could add some captions to each of the photos, and I really like how that looks. It adds a little bit of white space, plus I'm able to add journaling and photos. And when you're working in a small album like this, you definitely want to add as much as you can. This is a spread showing where we went to dinner that day. This card is, I believe, from the Allie Edwards Eat story kit. And then I created this word art for Skipper Canteen in the style of Project Mouse. And then I added some photos of our food. I actually was really good at taking photos of our food. I'm usually horrible at taking photos of food, especially during a vacation. But we loved going to the Skipper Canteen, one of the best places we went. This is a spread that I'm not sure that I really like. I like this page. I'm okay with this page. I'm not sure about this tag, but it's in here, so I'm gonna keep it. These little embellishments are, I believe, from In a Creative Bubble. This was one of her Halloween collections. It says bring on all things strange and spooky, which worked really well for documenting our first, well, my daughter's first ride on the Haunted Mansion. Love this photo of her. My husband and I, this is one of our favorite rides. We've rode it like millions of times, but this was my daughter's very first time, and she is totally freaked out at the ghosts on top of our carriage, which I just find super funny. A tag, again, this is not my favorite, especially not the back. I love the map, but the fact that I added this ride photo of Space Mountain, not so much, but I'm keeping it in there. Then we go to the next page, all about It's a Small World. I loved this page configuration where it has the 2x3 pocket, and then I believe this would be a 4x3 pocket, and I just created a template for myself to add a couple of more photos that were also 2x3 into that space. I love this page. This is a photo of my daughter at 10 months old at her first trip to Disney World, and then this was her at 4 years old. It's really fun. I added this chipboard that says Then and Now. This is from a very old story kit. I think it might actually be the Then and Now story kit. And then on the other side, I created a fold out using a 6x8 page projector to add more journaling and photos. So the 6x8 page projector, this is literally just the one that has 4 3x4s, and you just fold it in between, and there you go. You have a 3x8 page projector that folds out. I also added this transparency to the back of the castle. You can barely see it here, but it has, it's the same pattern as in the front for the day, except in blue. And then we have some more of my favorite photos from the evening when we were at Disney World. Love the pinkish hue in all of these photos. My daughter was so excited and so hopped up on ice cream. And then we end the day with this photo of the castle. I actually was able to get this photo by using the panorama mode on my my phone. So if you're trying to take photos of something that's like fairly high up, you can always use the panorama mode. And it does take a little bit of practice to keep everything aligned and straight, but it's definitely worth it. I love how this photo turned out. If you look really closely here at the bottom, there's people who are missing various limbs because of how panorama works. But honestly, that didn't bother me really. I feel like the focus is more on the castle and less on all of the people down here. So it's a really fun way to bookend the day with a photo of the castle in the morning and then a photo of the castle in the evening. And then we will go on to day number 2.